where this will come as good news for those planning to japa, as Canada's Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, that's the IRCC, has issued 920 invitations to candidates seeking permanent residency through the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP, via the Express Entry System. And this latest draw requires a minimum comprehensive ranking system, that's the CRS, score of 739, underscoring Canada's commitment to attracting skilled workers from around the globe to support its diverse and vibrant economy. And the tie-breaking rule in the latest draw ensures fairness by prioritizing earlier submitted profiles, while multiple candidates have the same lowest CRS score. Of course, good news for those who had submitted their applications and looking to japa. Perhaps they need to start putting their monies together now that Canada.
Oh, well, it's actually funny, the word japa, but I guess we have gotten...
of course, we are used to it.
We're used to that.
In fact, it has died down for some time now, because I think sometime last year and early this year, you were just hearing japa. A lot of people were japaing.
It also affected It also affected the United Kingdom as regards this dependency policy that they introduced late last year. And so many Nigerians could not, follow their spouses and other partners to, travel. But then it's a good one, especially for those that want to japa, like you mentioned. But another angle to this story that we should look at is the country's effort to, improve their skill sets globally, and also, attract skilled workers, if we can also be introducing that. So while we are also happy for those who want to leave the country, we also must also focus on our side. Let's not forget that no country will accept immigrants, especially persons that are skilled, that we will not want to use this to their, to their benefit. So these are sides to the stories that should be considered. And
I like the fact that you said we should start looking at that.
Yes.
It's quite interesting.
Let's look at it from the Nigerian angle. It's a good one for persons that want to leave. The country is attracting skilled workers, and so we can also do that to ourselves. If you notice, so many Nigerians, to an extent, do no longer value the idea of skill, which is very important when you go to, other climes.
What is even this skilled workforce that Canada is talking about? Because you just mentioned something about skill. And because I was looking through, and what I found out is what they are looking out for is language skill, your ability to speak other languages, perhaps French, German, and any other language as such. And then your work experience, very paramount. And then they're also looking at relevant education and training, adaptability, which are critical skills, soft skills that we do not, when it comes to Nigerians have that natural skill to adapt. Forget it. Any country you find Nigerians, you don't even need to ask them. We are born with it. As it is, talking about adaptation. But the matter of education is one critical aspect. Like you mentioned, a lot of persons are seemingly saying, how much value is education bringing for me at this point? And then they are also talking about matters of, do I even get to get a job after I go to school? We have seen strikes, ASU strikes, and how that has delayed a lot of persons. Some persons had to drop out of school in the process and decided to just embrace one business or the other, or something that would just empower them to get to be able to put food on their table at the end of the day. But Canada has required skill sets required for you to be able to be a part of them. So perhaps as a country, we need to begin to look critically at these areas if we want to attract foreign direct investment and all of the foreign investors coming into the country. In fact, I was listening to a program where someone was saying, how is it that we have not seen people saying, oh, because of this and that, we want to come into the country, into Nigeria. There are those who are coming into Nigeria to do business. That one is certain. Although they are also asking for an environment that enables their business to thrive. Perhaps in the long run, we'll begin to see an improvement in these areas, because I know that I think in the 60s, in the 70s, we had a mix of diverse culture, diverse people. I grew up in a Jakarta Steel Company, for instance, and we had diverse persons. Russians were the ones that were there at the time growing up, and we saw how that improved the lives of many people, because as you engage them, you get to understand their language, you get to understand their food. There's a particular bread they make that is different from that we see in Nigeria, and so we're used to all of those. So it helps build one at the end of the day.
So I believe we're also getting there. The government
of course.
is also, trying its best.
I'm just saying that earlier, those years, 60s, 70s, 80s, it was rampant. Even at our unity schools, we had teachers who were from the UK, foreigners and all of that. They were the ones teaching people. But after a while, they left. They left it for Nigerians to handle. But now we are seeing Nigerians going back to those countries to say, you know what, we are ready to work for you. Some persons have called it a different kind of slavery, as it is, but whoever is traveling outside the country knows the reason why they are traveling.
That's
whether you call it slavery, a different type of slavery or not. They've gone to look for whatever it is they are looking for. But we are saying, let's begin to look inwards and see how we can attract these persons into our own country.
There's so many persons who call this greener pastures, so to speak, because of some of the factors or economic situations that we are going through at this time. And so, like you said, it's an individual, decision, as long as you're able to, cope with or be able to adapt to some of their conditions there, slavery or whatnot. Well, many Nigerians who say they just want to work and, earn as much as they can, which they'll probably not be able to, get access to that here. So, of course, it's a good one. But as a nation, we also need to look at, how we can make use of these opportunities for ourselves.
For some other persons, it's about the future of their children, saying that it is more, the future of their children is assured in such countries because they have a structure, they have a system that works. But then when they look at the system we have in Nigeria, when we talk about education, they do not see what it is that would work for their children. They want something better for their children. Maybe because of some of the instances we've had of children being kidnapped, the school system, like I mentioned earlier, we have strikes and all of it. What is the curriculum? Does it reflect the realities on the ground? Where we see that the society is inching towards technology, how much of that have we introduced into our curriculum? All of those things are some of the reasons why most people will embrace these kinds of opportunities, but it is good that we begin to look inwards. We have lost so many hands already, experienced hands, and so we need to begin to look at how we can fill the gap, whether it be foreigners or locals at the end of the day. All right, let's quickly bring you the news update at this time. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulation Authorities